First of all, I have been here for many BIPs. Last time I was wearing a "Make Bitcoin Great Again" hat, but now somebody in the audience copied me. So since I cannot accept to be less controversial than you, I will use this. It's completely off topic, so I will not talk about this. Completely off topic, but I have to. I mean, I have to rise the stakes. Okay. So basically, okay, some of you know me because I have been here several times. I do stuff. Basically, I go to parties pretending that it is a research and development. So this the first question I would like to address in this talk is what is an ICO? Everybody, I assume everybody here is doing an ICO, right? Who is it? So I try to define it like this. This should be moving the eyebrows, so it's not funny if it doesn't move the eyebrows, but anyway. So it's a public sale. So far it has been public, without constraints and without sophisticated investors' rules, of a usually blockchain-based digital token. There are some cases in which there is not really a blockchain there, and it does make sense, in order to fund a usually blockchain-related project. Now we're starting to diverge a little bit from this. The second question is every single ICO in existence right now just a scam? This is the depiction of scam here, the official image for scams. The answer, to my knowledge, is yes. And thank you if you have any questions. No. Just joking. No, I have 15 minutes. I like to talk, so I will go on. This was a joke because, first of all, my previous answer was not entirely true, and then there is another more interesting question to ask. The answer wasn't true because we have some exception. For example, this ICO is completely honest. I invite you to check it out. This is ponzico.win. Basically, you enter a Ponzi scheme programmed in Solidity. It's completely, it's working, really. If you see here, I invested. My balance is like 0 points. Anyway, I encourage you to invest because I want my money back. So please invest in Ponzi ICO. There is a wonderful team, like there is the Chief Executive Officer, John Cincinnati. There is a lot of people here. They are great. They are all great. This is the white paper, like 20 pages. I encourage you to read it. It is wonderful. And it's all true. And this is like the comments on the code. Let's say like the logic of a small fee for the creator of this contract, minuscule in the grand scheme of things, and what's better than withdrawing, reinvesting profits. So the code comments themselves are wonderful. So this is one of the best ICO in the market. There is also another case just recently released. The worst first 100% honest Ethereum ICO. I mean, the other one was honest as well. This is basically a useless token that is created in order to be completely useless. And it's working perfectly. The project is a success. And let's check the site. It's a lot of funny things. I will not read. The thing is that people is putting money in this. Unless the other one, probably because the other one was done in order not to be tradable, and that probably its limits, and that's why my 0.7 Ether are stuck there, because people is not trading it. While with the useless token, useless Ethereum token, they listed it on an exchange, and people is trading that. There is money going on this one. So. We have at least two examples of ICO that are completely honest, not scams. They really do what they are supposed to do. So my answer was not completely correct. But there is another question, which is, should every ICO be just a scam by necessity? And in this case, surprisingly, and I will raise a lot of criticism, my answer is no. There is some space in between, and I think that we should ask these sub-questions. The first one is, are these people going to really realize the project? So if they do, It could not be a scam. It could still be a scam, but it could not be if they don't. So there are four possible answers to this. No, because the project doesn't make any sense. I think this covers 99% of the ICO up there. So they are honest, they have a lot of skill, but the project itself doesn't make any sense. Or no, because the project makes sense actually, but they will spend all the money partying hard in Ibiza, which can be the island or the local here in Odessa. It depends. No, because the project makes sense and they will try hard, but their ambition is greater than their skills. This doesn't mean necessarily that their individual skills are not enough, but maybe the incentives of the project are not structured in a way that they will attract more skills from outside. So no group has enough skill to build very ambitious projects inside, not of this capacity anyway. Or in a strict minority of the cases, the answer is yes. They actually will develop the project. They will create what they raised money to create. Ponzi ICO did it, a userless Ethereum token did it, but maybe in the future some other ICO will do it. I will concede that Ethereum is somewhere between these. I mean, they have something working, probably not really working as intended, but I'm open to consider, maybe just because I'm speaking in public but in private, no. So the second, let's assume that we have a situation in which the people is going to the project is possible to build, and they have the skill, and they don't like to party in Ibiza, and they will do it. So this is not a scam, right? Wrong. It could be a scam. Again, because there is another problem. What if the project gets completed, but your token doesn't represent any specific right or well-defined right in that project? So how is your token that you buy in order to fund the project connected with the project? Does it give you some kind of right to do something? There are several questions here, several answers here. The most common is no. But there are some possibility. One is a scarce collectible with some emotional connection to the project. This completely legit. I mean, when you buy a baseball ball with the signature of a famous baseball player, or when you buy a book signed by the author, that doesn't give you any right on the book. So if I want to write a book and I pre-sell my signature on the book, they are emotionally connected to the project. It's difficult to do this right because I can just issue an ICO connected with an existing project already developed by other people. So there is something about the authenticity of the connection. But this is normal. People buy singer posters, or if in 2 years I will sell this T-shirt that I use today for millions probably. So yeah, 10 millions of Bitcoin, and so this is a possibility. Right now, this is the most realistic one. As long as people understand that this is what they are buying, everything is fine. The problem is when they think that they are buying something else and they are actually buying this. Then we have some problem of scam because the expectation, there is something, but it's not what people is expecting. Then there is the possibility that you are selling, you are pre-selling products or services of the platform or the project you are going to build. So this is the typical upcoin approach. I will have a platform that does blockchain, blah, blah, big data, blah, blah, artificial intelligence, blah, blah, and of course, Internet of Things. And with this token, you will be able to do something in that platform that you could not do in any other way. There are 3 ways to do this. The first way is something that has been used a lot, but I'm quite skeptical about this long term. So you have a token that you have to use to pay for the players, like a fee that you have to pay for the meta miners or to the nodes or whatever. You have this thing that is the only thing that you can use in order to participate in the process of the project. or you have to burn it, which is kind of the same. You redistribute it to the other nodes, or you burn it. For example, Ripple XRP, you have to burn XRP in order to make a transaction, and you have to own some XRP in order to open an account. The problem here is that, one could say the same about basic attention tokens, and there are a lot of examples. The problem with this is that mostly you don't really need the token. The design of the platform doesn't need the token, really. Of course, they can tell you it's for spam attacks, but no, it's not. Everything you are doing with the token, you could do as well with an actual existing form of cryptocurrency. And it will be more easy and more efficient to do that with an existing cryptocurrency. So the efficient way to reduce spam on a new project is to use Bitcoin. If you're doing the project on Ether, it will be more efficient to use directly Ether instead of your token in order to do stuff. What does it mean? That means that if I create the project, this project is intrinsically inefficient respect to a clone of the project that just takes off the middle coin and deliver the service directly to people using money. So if I take a project that uses basic attention tokens and I clone it and I just ask for ethers instead of the tokens, that's more economically efficient, that works better. It's also more accessible to people because they already have the ether, they have to buy the token. So this could work, maybe. So far, I don't have an evidence of project that has been successfully cloned to remove the middle coin. Like, everybody could clone Mastercoin, Omni, and remove the Mastercoin. Everybody can clone Ripple and remove XRP. They did it, but they inserted Lumen instead, so it didn't change very much. But you can do that in theory, and so I'm skeptical about the long-run sustainability of this model. What is maybe more likely is that you just sell a discount of some sort, but it's not very easy to build this kind of structure. So I will create a platform, whatever. In this platform, you will have to pay with Bitcoins, I assume, or Ether. And when you do, if you burn or transfer this token that I pre-sold to you, then you will have a discount. So it is economically efficient because it's using crypto money. The more money-like token that you have, but you have some special right or special discount. This could work maybe better, but it's complicated to realize a game that works like that. There is some example of this. I was talking with someone about this yesterday night. Namespaces. Namespaces are interesting. Like, I create a decentralized market. The name of the seller is something scarce, like a Twitter handler or like a web first level domain. It's a scarce namespace. Of course, you can clone it and create other competitive other namespaces. But usually there is a strong value if you stay with the first mover with its network effect. So which is the difference between these and these? Basically, the difference is that the price of the service you are going to deliver will decrease realistically with the network effect of the network. So the most your platform grows, the most the price of the service you are selling will decrease. And so the fact that you are stuck with the initial token to pay it will not work very well. While things like namespaces are strange things which cost, which value increases with the network effect. So the greater the decentralized market I want to build grows, the more a very short name for the handler, for the seller will be worth. So this could maybe work. So okay, we have something there. Upcoin approach is broken so far, but it could be done, at least theoretically, in a good way. I don't have strong examples of this yet, but I think there could be something here. Then we have the most ambitious part, which is basically sell rights to something. They could be profit sharing or revenue sharing or voting. So these, I call them crypto shares. They actually look like a share. These are the most attractive, of course. You can do something like share the revenue of the project, or share the profit of the project, or maybe give back a loan conditional to the success of the project, or do a lot of other stuff. Or you could do a buyback. For the profit of this project, I will use the profit of this project in order to buy back or burn the token. So the people owning the token will be deflated, and the token will rise in value if there is any fundamental value. Probably you cannot have these without at least some of these or some of the upcoin characteristic. It's difficult to do that. Or you can just have voting rights, and a good example of this is another honest ICO, which is the Lambo ICO. This guy said, "Give me money, I want to buy a Lamborghini. I will make you vote the color of the Lamborghini with your token, so pro quota. So buy it, and you will have actually a right to vote the color of my Lambo." The DAO is another example. What is interesting in the DAO, if worked, it is that you can also connect maybe their voting rights to the power of spending the money that you raise with the ICO. In that way, you limit a little bit the Ibiza problem, because you can the stakeholder can vote pro quota in order to decide how the ICO promoters are spending the money they are receiving. That could maybe work in the future, and not. Lambo ICO is the only working example in my knowledge. There is another problem here with this kind of thing. Okay, suppose that you're going to realize the project. You are giving some consistent and effective right connected with the token, but how do you enforce that? It will be possible to enforce those rights. What if this guy buys a Lamborghini and everybody votes for blue, and then he buy a red one? What then? Yeah, scam. Well, what if you create the DAO, you say that code is low, and you put a TOS that says that that code is low, and then somebody changes the rule afterwards? No referral to existing problem. You have a problem there. So enforcement. The first answer, the most common, is no. And so even if the project was legit, even if the token was representing something, it's still a scam, because there is no way to enforce this right. So it's just nice words. It's worth like my promise to do something, but it's worth nothing. My promise worth everything, but because it's me. But for other people, it's not. So there is the second possibility, which is, yes, it is enforceable through a legal framework and through lawyers. Let's lawyer up and let's sue this bastard that painted a red Lambo instead of a blue one. You have a problem here. The other question you should ask is, are both the project itself and the way you are selling the rights to the project completely legal in most of the jurisdiction? And Charles posed very good questions about this. This is an important question. If I'm raising money for a new Silk Road 12, I'm not, of course. There are cameras. No, I'm not. If I do that, and then I do not deliver what I was promising, you cannot really sue me, because it's illegal. Even if the project is legit, and there are a lot of borderline projects, like the most interesting ones are actually borderline, legally speaking. And you cannot sue somebody that is doing something completely illegal, maybe with a DAO. And also, if the project itself is legal, but you are selling securities like shares outside the regulation, outside the regulatory framework, what you are doing is illegal, and so it's very unlikely that the investor will be able to sue you. Everybody says that people will now sue many of these ICO sellers because they are, but they will not probably be convicted because they violated the agreement with the investor. They will be convicted, if ever, because they did an illegal security sellout. So that's different. So consider that maybe your project is completely legal. I just want to do a music in artificial intelligence drone platform. It's legal, and I am in some state. Maybe I mean the people in the government of Ukraine through my friends in distributed labs helped me to do that in a legal way. The problem is, why did I need an ICO again? I mean, if I can in this jurisdiction issue legal shares. I mean, maybe digitally, why I really do need something like a blockchain-based token? Can I just open my website and take your money, maybe with credit card, which is a little more widespread than Bitcoin, and then sell you some password that if you lose it, if you lose the private keys of your Bitcoin wallet, you lose everything. If you lose your password, you just call me. Please give me another password. Okay, what was your teacher name, and so on. So there are, I will be quick because I have no time, but there are some possible answer to this. Why I should do an ICO blockchain-based, even for legal project. There is some possibility. If not, then you cannot enforce it legally. But then there is the other possibility, which is through an autonomous trustless code. You know, code is law. But this is, so you don't sue anything because the code itself guarantees you through game theory or through cryptography that everything that is stated in the contract will be really smart contract or dumb contract. Contract that will do exactly what they think, what they tell you they will do. The problem is that you have to, in that case, you have to use a platform that you know that will be there up and running as supposed in many years. And I don't think that most actual existing blockchain platforms will be here in many years. I tend to agree with Vlad that most of the blockchain or cryptocurrency will disappear, and I think almost all, except probably one, but this is my maximalist conviction, and it must be reasonably immutable, no reference to anything, so you cannot trust the contract if somebody is able to change the contract afterwards. It should be reasonable secure, so the language that you're using should not have this super rich statefulness that can make everything happen unpredictably, because otherwise there will be more incentives to actually make it more mutable, because if you easily screw up, then people will ask you to change it. It must be reasonable confidential, because if you are doing something outside the legal framework, you don't want to be easy to track down and to analyze the chain to track you down and to de-anonymize you. Otherwise, there is no point in using a blockchain for this application. And it must be reasonable, scalable. All these things tell me that the usual platforms right now used for ICOs, BitShares for the first one, and now Ethereum. I don't think they answer to these requirements. Bitcoin itself doesn't answer directly. Maybe it will with something that we're working on. Or there could be some hybrid. I finish just telling you that I'm finally launching my pre-ICO. If you send Bitcoin to this, at least more than 0.001 Bitcoin here, I promise that when we will deliver a new Bitcoin-based asset protocol with all the characteristics I explained, I will issue 50 tokens sentimentally connected with this presentation to the first 10 addresses that will pay this. So I can guarantee that legally, because I think this is legal. I don't know. Maybe here it is. Otherwise, we will just see each other in the court. Thank you.